our country, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. And I never been down with no OPP. I talking about selling our people's property. Don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. Hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say when you find a donkey, ride it. Who's the donkey? Huh? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. I get everybody sell some every day. Selling one island, give away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our.
Whoa, girls, we outdoing it?
my God. This is ridiculous.
No. Oh my God.
Hey, keep your hands in the back. Don't move. Do not move. I don't care who in there. I don't care who in there.
You can't open the bar. I open the bar inside there before. You can't open the bar. I have the plug inside there before.
Do not move.
You know I go into the highest position. Yeah, we can find out right now. You stand up. All right. Two of these guys coming. I get curious if you doing all of this. Guess what? Stop. You gotta be serious.
Yeah, you
Something
should be
really
like-
is in front of the tourists now. All of this is on gas and power. Are you serious? All right. Yeah, we can find out who I know.
Yeah, videotaping that.
Police, yes, they stop your work. Let them not be here. You would not have a job. You would not have a job. Let them not come in this country. 80% of our GDP, buddy. 80% of our GDP. Stop your mess. Stop your mess. You can stop your work if they don't come in this country. No, but what you doing is absurd. This is absurd. I don't know what. I don't know if you know me or something. I do you something like back in school or something. I do you something. I wonder if I do you something. You never saw this in my life. You put me up on my car like this for that. I can make a phone call. No, I need to make a phone call now to let someone know.
Stand right there and watch it.
I said I'm making a phone call.
I'm watching social media. I'm not making a phone call on my stuff. When I'm finished, do whatever you want to do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure to have you with us. This is September 5th. Already, the year is almost gone. 2023 is almost gone, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the final leg, the final quarter of this year, and it has been a doozy. Uh, Bahamians continue to suffer, and it's like it's getting worse and worse. It is just a few days away from the 2 year anniversary of the Progressive Liberal Party taking us into the dark ages, because that's what I'm calling this, the dark ages. And that's what I'm going to call this until election, unless something serious changes. We are suffering from the dark ages under this Progressive Liberal Party government. We are feeling it at the food store. We're feeling it at the gas pumps. We're feeling it from BEC. We're feeling it from waterworks. We're feeling it as we drive our cars down the road and they're damaged by potholes. We're feeling it when we license our car. We're feeling it when we pay for our insurance, whether it's car, health, or any kind of insurance. We are feeling it every single where we go. If you are a boater, you are feeling it. If you are a fisherman, you are feeling it. No matter what your job is, you are feeling it right now under this government. If you go to the hospital, you are feeling it. We've had persons dying. But of course, I won't say too much because we're going to allow you to be able to call in today. We have 2 call-in numbers today because this one is going to be about you. And you're going to be able to call in and tell us your opinions, your feelings. We want them to hear you today. We want them to feel you today. And so we are going to be going name by name and area by area through the cabinet of this country. And we're going to be hearing what the problems are, and we're going to be giving the solutions, and we're going to be taking questions, allowing you to do that. So this is not just giving the government a good or bad grade. We're also going to be giving the solutions for their various areas because they watch this show religiously and they come away from here with ideas for them to go and implement incorrectly. And so we just want to give them a chance to still be able to do what they need to do. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let you call in. We're going to put the call-in numbers up there. It still says we're going to begin shortly, but we have begun. Trust me on that. Want to say a special good day to all of you. That video will be played earlier with the taxi driver. He is actually live on the show with us. He is backstage, and he is going to be coming on live with us today. Yeah, his side of what went down. They're going to hear his side of what went down, what happened, what he experienced, and I'm going to give him a chance to ask questions and ask me what he should do. And so we're going to speak to him shortly. But first, I just want to say over the last 2 weeks, I have met some people who have really encouraged me. We had an amazing time in Grand Bahama on the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. When I say amazing, I mean phenomenal. Grand Bahama is going black. We are going to paint Grand Bahama black. The people are ready everywhere we go. That's all the people are saying. Old people, young people, and the people in between, like myself, they are saying that Grand Bahama is ready to go black. And so it was phenomenal. We got to visit the funeral of a PLP stalwart, Miss McBride Mills. We had a wonderful time there with her, with the family, of course. We just want to say our condolences again to all of the family, especially our very own Bernadette Mills. And so thank you for having us. And the food was very good. I also got to meet a lot of people who are ready. But when I got back to Nassau, I met this couple, a very interesting couple, an elderly lady and an elderly woman. They're Caucasian, they're white. And they look like the couple of the Notebook, the movie. They were so cute. Like they're old and they're still in love. And they just want to die together. They don't want one go before the next one. They look really cute. And the lady approached me. That's when I was at the food store buying a deck of cards that I use on Steve McKinney show. And the lady approached, she said, "You're Lincoln Bean." She said, "Wow, it's so good to meet you." She said, I watch all of your shows every Sunday and every Tuesday, et cetera, and it's really good. And I said, "Wow, where are you from?" Because they both seem to have like an American accent, but it wasn't an American accent. And she said, I'm from here. She said, "I'm an organic Bahamian." And I thought that was so cute. Both of them said they are organic Bahamians. And she said that she came with her family came with the Lutheran Adventurers. And so they are organic Bahamians, and her husband said that they came after the Civil War. So they've been here. They've been here. No problem, Rule. I see your comment. They've been here from the beginning. So they are organic Bahamians, and we're fighting for all Bahamians. We don't care what your color is. We're fighting for Bahamians, whether you're black, you're white, whatever you are. As long as you're Bahamian, that's what this is about. All right. And so that's what this is about. Someone says the royal family is in the house. All right. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. All right. So I'm going to one more elderly lady I got to speak to. And this was so phenomenal. This lady came. She was coming and coming and coming so that she could catch up with me at the headquarters, and she came to the headquarters today. I was Mrs. Ferguson came. She is 87 years old. She's an organic Bahamian, and she is a strong supporter of the COI. There are a lot of people who are saying that, the old people are set in their ways. That's not true. We are finding that the elderly, they're seeing it. They're paying attention and they see it. But the minute they see the truth, they get it. And so many people who are elderly, they realize that in their day that they didn't know better. And she said to me that she said she's learned so much about what we didn't know as a people. And she's praying that the Bahamian people wakes up. And I told her that she is going to live to see the Bahamas. I told her, I said, Miss Ferguson, you are going to cross over the River Jordan with us. You will enter the new Bahamas with us. All right. So Janika saying happy birthday. No, it wasn't her birthday. She just came to the headquarters to see me. And she is 87 years old. And she wanted me to know that she's 87 years old and she supports us very strongly. And so I just want to say that I thank you. It inspires me when I hear the stories of different people and how we are impacting them. She says a whole family is COI. And so many people are talking to their family and their friends. Remember, we have a COI member in every house, and your duty is to evangelize to your house, first and foremost, to your co-workers, to your friends. When you go in the bank lines, don't be shy. You talk to them. Someone called me, and he told me his strategy because he seemed to be converting a lot of people who have not heard about the COI and people who just didn't know what it really was about. And he called me, and he said, this is a strategy that you should say on your live. He said, this is what I do, and it works really good. He says, when I'm in a bank line, he said, I would just play the video. He said, especially the video of when Keith Bell sold the citizenship. He said, I would just play the video. And once they hear your voice, it would start conversations. And that way you would see how many people in the line are actually COI. And he said, there's always a bunch of COIs everywhere he goes. And then the other people will get to talk about it and find out what's going on, find out about our natural resources. It's an icebreaker and it gets people talking. So, ladies and gentlemen, you should try that because I know some of you are shy, you're afraid to talk. But in order for us to save our country, we got to get out there and we got to talk. It's not what I do. Some people say, oh, the COI needs to do this, the COI needs to do that. No, it's what you do. You have to make this happen. It's only going to happen if you make this happen. The new Bahamas is going to happen if you make it happen. And so we have to put the effort in to get this done. All right. And so we're going to have a call-in show today. We have two numbers I'm going to give to you. But first, I want to talk to that taxi driver. I want to give him time to, because we're out there fighting for Bahamians. And no Bahamian should be, in the New Bahamas, no Bahamian is going to be abused or harassed by anyone. Whether it's a foreign employer, whether it's the government, whether it's the police, whether it's anyone. Bahamians are going to be respected as kings, as royalty. When you go to the Middle East and you see one of those citizens of those countries, you're going to think a king walked into the room when they come into the room. That's how they are treated. They are treated special. If you go on YouTube and look at documentaries of people foreigners who live in those countries, they'll tell you they put their citizens first. They treat them like royalty. And that is our mission, to have a government that treats the people like royalty and to have a government that treats itself like royalty. What does that mean? You, the people, are going to govern yourself. That's what island states and city government is all about. But that's another conversation. We got to get to the cabinet and stuff. But I want to talk to, the taxi driver first. Let's get him on the screen. Okay, I see him on the screen. Are you there?
Yes, Lincoln Lane, I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Let's get your video up. I think your video has gone down. Can you get your video up?
Um, on my end.
No, no, your video is not up.
Jeez.
We were sitting down waiting to start the show for the half hour now.
Right.
And this video is up, now it's down. Okay, almost there. Okay, Mr. Lamont Roll is here, and he's the taxi driver that you saw in that video that went viral. Maybe you should sign out and sign back in and see if we can get you back in.
Okay, will do.
All right. Okay, he's going to sign out and sign back in, and then we'll see how that works if we get him back in there. We really want to talk to him as soon as possible. Today we're going to go line by line with each one of those cabinet ministers. We're going to get each of their portfolios. What do you think about the shuffle? I'm going to say some things. Okay, there he is. Let's go. Okay.
Okay, then.
Back. There you are, Mr. Roll. You are live, and it's so good to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to apologize to you on behalf of the Bahamian people, as Bahamian royalty, having to go through what you went through in that incident. But I want you to break down for the Bahamian people exactly what happened, because everyone goes off of hearsay and gossip when they don't know. So I want you to break down exactly what happened. You had some tourists in your car, you pull over. Exactly what happened.
Yeah, Mr. Bain. So it was such an ordeal. I couldn't believe what was even happening with me at that particular time. But I would go on the record and say, dealing with the police in the downtown area, it could be a bit of troubling, but majority of the times you would have the senior officers, and none like this young officer, because he's a pretty young rookie officer. But with the senior officers, if you humble yourself and you ask for some type of assistance with getting your guests in the bus or out the bus, and if you're familiar with me and my vehicle is a very large van, so it's a Ford Transit, and it's like a Sprinter van, so it's a very big, high roof vehicle and long. So it's very difficult to keep finding space in the downtown area to park. And most of the times, I had no problems with police helping me out. But this particular day, I had a pickup from Jet Nassau, from the private airstrip, uh, heading had my clients heading down to the poop deck to catch one of their a yacht that they were going to sail on for about 7 days, and one of the guests needed some cash, and the only way I could obtain the U.S. cash was either downtown Scotiabank or Paradise Island, but they're not going Paradise Island. So I said, all right, I'll swing to the downtown area and let you jump off and use the ATM machine at Scotiabank. And unfortunately, there was no parking space. There was nobody in the bank at that time, and I said, you know what, make this quick. We don't want to hang up traffic too long. And he dashed out of my bus. No one is at the ATM. He jumped in there, got his monies, ran right back out. No more than 2 minutes. When he jumped into the bus, sirens ring out. So now I heard the sirens, so I know what to do. So I went looking for a spot. I said, this one of those moments. I said, let me keep calm and present him, be professional with it and humble, like my usual self. And he came to my window and he asked me for my driver's license. So I told the officer, I said, hey, I do apologize for what just happened. And right now, I know you could be a little upset, but could you just bear with me? I just had to drop the guests off to get some money from the ATM. I had no parking, but the guests are willing to take care the ticket. So you could go ahead and give us a ticket and we'll take care of the ticket, you know? So he on the other hand called a few police officers from across the road by um, what the place named Gucci. So they came over. He instructed them to write up the ticket on me. So I was like puzzled. I was like, you just saw my of traffic offense. Where these police come in to write me up? I said, I'm not signing that. I said, you supposed to be writing this ticket up, and
Which is true.
then you write it up. I will sign it, but I'm not signing this from somebody else who is not even witnessing the traffic offense. I say, either you write me up or you don't, but where's your book? What I said that for? He, like, I just showed him up in front of his colleagues and he got hot. He was like, Mister, out this car now. I get you for suspicion of drugs and firearms and use a taxi driver. Taxi drivers is only sell drugs to these guests, and get your hands up on the car, spread. I was like, what? I said, you serious, bro? I get gas in this car. I said, you serious? You're going to go through this? I say, I just need a ticket. Oh, he's the officer of the law. He could do whatever he want to do. No one could stop him. He took me out of I came out of the car. He searched me. Made a big scene with the search. Finished searching me. Still have me up on the car. Wouldn't let me go. Then finally he let me go. Then he went round to the passenger door. Instructed. That's where the video ends. You didn't see this part in the video. Instructed the guests to come out of the bus, put them on the side of the road, and went into the bus and search everything else. So this way I got I was like, wow, this dude really, really is one stupid brother. I said he does not have 1 cent about the tourism industry, and I broke it down to him and I begged him. I said, bro, don't do this. This ain't a good look. And he was hearing nothing. It was all just this anger in him, and he wanted to embarrass me. All he needed to do was take my clothes, ask me to put my gun on me, take my clothes off, and tell me to walk into the street. Because it was humiliating. And the guests, they were just outraged. But I didn't know the guest was actually recording at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was going around on the other side, when he was asking the guests to come out, because I went behind him and I was telling them, bro, don't touch these guests. I went to try go into my pocket to get my phone. He told me, hey, don't go in my pocket. I didn't warn you, don't go in your pocket. You make any false move, then I end up shooting you. So I say, bro, I know where you live at, but I have all rights to record whatever I will record when the police is handling me with a traffic stop, And I took the phone out, but he got me parried. I didn't even function my phone right, and I couldn't even get the recording in, But that was my ordeal with the man, with that officer.
Wow. So they didn't, because we heard rumors that they actually searched the tourists. They didn't search the tourists then.
No, they took the tourists out of the bus, put them to the side, and searched belongings, what was inside the seats and stuff. So purse and stuff like that was left behind. So that was in the small little bags, whatever they had in the car. But they didn't go in the back trunk and look through the guest luggage.
They didn't go in the guest luggage?
They didn't go in the back trunk. They went in the particulars that was left in the car, like their purse and travel bags and stuff.
Okay. So they didn't really search the gas. They just searched the vehicle.
The vehicle.
The front part of the vehicle.
Yes. The front and the back. They went into the back. Not the back trunk. They went into the passenger seats.
Okay. But did they go in like the gas pockets and that kind of stuff?
No, they didn't search the guest physically.
You sure?
Yes.
So they suspected that you had dangerous drugs or firearms in the bus, but they didn't search the guest who was in the bus, and they didn't even search the trunk that had the luggage, etc.
No.
I think that officer is going to have a very embarrassing time in court.
All of that was personal.
Once you sue them, because you can't justify that you had reasonable suspicion to believe the drug was there, but you didn't really search everyone in the bus, and you didn't search every part of the bus. That's a problem. That means you didn't really suspect anything. So it sounds like he was just being vindictive against you.
Yes, it was personal.
Jesus.
I somewhat embarrassed him in front of his colleagues, made him look small or something. I don't know. But he took it. I knew my rights. It was obvious. I mean, Jesus. I wouldn't even say I know the rights. It was just obvious. These persons was not around. Why are you calling them from way over by Gucci to write me up? You know? That don't make no sense. This was your traffic offense.
Yeah, that's unlawful. All right. You would just win the case. All right. They only the person who saw you can search you. All right. Only the person who saw you can write you up for the offense. All right. And then there must be reasonable ground. All right, reasonable grounds. And if there reasonable ground means there's a reason to, like, he looked in the window and he saw some powdery substance that he suspected was, may have been cocaine, etc., or he smelled the smell of marijuana coming from the car. That is reasonable ground. So whenever you have something like that, that is reasonable grounds. But to just say what they normally do, if they just want to search you to harass you, they just say, "Oh, I suspect you of having dangerous drug or firearm. I'm going to search this vehicle." That's not what the law intended. That's not how it works. All right. So what happened to you? He will have to prove what his reasonable grounds was. He will have to. You'll have to sue him, take him to court, and let him tell the court that he smelled marijuana or something like that. He would have to prove his reasonable ground. All right. And a lot of officers do that, but it's actually not lawful. All right. What happened to you? You have a clear case. He stopped you. You were basically under arrest. You couldn't use your phone. He was telling you where to stand. That's called compulsion under the law, which is similar to imprisonment. So if a police stops you and he said, "Listen, stand here, now move over there, and don't move." If you move, even though he hasn't in prison, you enclose you. If he say if you move, it's a problem. Or if he tells you can't move and it puts you in fear that if you move, he'll do something, that's called compulsion. All right. So that's the same as being imprisoned. All right. And so what he did was tell you must stand here, you must stand there. That's your choice whether you watch the person search or not. He cannot force you to watch them search, because if they find something and you weren't looking, you can't say, "Oh, well, I didn't see." They can give you the option to watch them, but they can't force you and say you must stand here and you must watch. All right? That's your choice, because you're not under arrest in that situation. You are free to use your phone. You are free to record them, etc. And so we must make sure Bahamians know their rights. You need to find a good lawyer ASAP and get them on this ASAP. You are going to be compensated, in my opinion. Everything is on camera. All right?
Yes.
So take this to the highest extent of the law. We're hoping that the person who need to see this, and that it brings some change. Police have a hard job because we complain about crime and then we complain when police do certain things, but the police must fight crime within the law. They have to do it. They cannot violate your rights, or when they feel offended, or when they feel insulted by you asking them a question. I don't mean like you cursed them out or said in violent things to them. I mean, just because you ask a question, that you should be the one giving me the ticket, not him? That's a sensible academic question. That's nothing to get all riled up and say, okay, now I'm going to search you and I'm going to harass you and keep you here, and to annoy you. That's not what policing is about, man. They can
No.
see you're a decent, law-abiding citizen trying to make a dollar, taking these tourists from their jet to wherever they were going. That's tourism, man. And so, to all the police officers watching this, I love you, but we got to do things in the proper way. All right, let's treat Bahamians with respect, and that includes your mother, your sister, your brother. No police officer would want their family member to be treated a certain way, and so we can't treat other Bahamians a certain way. All right, you have any questions?
No, I just like to make a comment
Go ahead.
towards this whole police thing and how they conduct themselves. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a small little island, and you have to basically live with each other. You got to go to the food store and see these same persons. It's very tight knit, and to have our police officers in feel in this type of manner to press their powers with the badge, and then at the end of the day, we have to look up in your face, pass you by in schools and food stores. I mean, it should not be like this. It's a small island. We should have some type of good camaraderie, good fellowship going on with each other, and this type of behavior and living, it it really isn't becoming for a small little nation like us. You know.
Yeah, and then the police officer has to realize that he might have to come in front of one of your family members for some reason. He might be trying to get back from regard and there's one seat left on the plane, and your family member remember what he did to you wrongly, and your family member may give that seat to someone else. It
Yes.
spurs a lot of stuff. In other words, you're not always going to be wearing a uniform, and you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. All right.
Yeah.
So that's what I said that to say. But I'm glad you weren't hurt. I'm glad you're able to deal with this professionally. You kept your calm. Anyone, when you're dealing with the police, even if they're doing wrong, just keep your calm. All right. When
Yeah.
you are in the right, if they are doing wrong, you are rich. Just think of that. Just think, oh my God, this fella's making me all kinds of money, and stay calm. All right. Just stay calm, because what happens is when you get angry and you react, it's going to be used against you. You see? With you, there's nothing that they could use against you because of the way you dealt with it. So I want to encourage people, even when they deal with police officers who are going wrong, just stay calm. Just stay calm. Whatever they're doing to you that is wrong, make sure your friend or family or someone else or you record what is going on, and then you go and cash in. All right. So good luck. You have been an example to a lot of other people. This was a learning experience, a teachable moment for a lot of people, and you're going to benefit from it. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man. Blessings.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. All right. That was Mr. Lamorne Roll. He was a taxi driver that we talked about. We have to continue to empower our people with knowledge. Knowledge is what the people in power are afraid of, and knowledge is power. And so the only thing that people in power are afraid of is knowledge, because they have knowledge that you don't have. And that's how they take advantage of you, because of knowledge. Knowledge is power. Always remember that. All right. So we're going to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tag and share. We're going to have an interesting talk about what's really going on in the country right now. We're going to have an interesting talk about these cabinet ministers, all the new cabinet ministers. So we're going to let you help us break this down. We have 2 phone numbers available tonight. We want you to call in. Don't be shy now. Call in. I want them to hear yours. So the phone numbers are on there. Let me make sure we have the phones ready. The phone numbers are there. 803-5995 is one of the numbers. You can WhatsApp call that one, or if you want a regular call or WhatsApp call, you can. WhatsApp call is ready on that one, right? Yeah, if you can WhatsApp or regular call on 821-2843. 821-2843. Before we get started, I just want to tell you, notice I haven't been using that 803 number for regular calls for quite some time. And that's because listen, to me, this is how it seems. It seems like I get attacks from this system everywhere I turn. I don't ever talk about them. I don't ever talk about my personal experience and that kind of stuff. When I'm attacked by, when it seems like it's government interference or these kinds of people, I just keep moving. I keep rolling. I don't say, okay, BC did this or this one did that or whatever. The bank did this. I just keep moving. But I am owed, and I don't owe anyone. All right, I don't owe BC. I don't owe Alive. I don't owe nobody. All right, all right. But I owed Alive for July. I didn't pay my July bill. I was traveling, as you know. You follow me a lot, and so I didn't get to pay in July. And I came back, got busy fighting people, doing different stuff. And I think it was by August, they had turned my phone off. I only owed them 1 month. They had turned my phone off and they had taken back the number to be given to someone else. I don't know what they call it. They recalled the number. By August, the number was recalled. In July, the phone turned off. I owed them for July. In July, the phone turned off. And by August, not even a month later, like weeks, a couple of weeks later, the phone number had been taken back in order to be given to someone else. All right, recycled to someone else. And so I was shocked. All right. So when I went in, I paid July's bill, and they said, "Oh, we can't do anything with the bill because they've taken your number." What? And I was like, no. I don't owe you all anything, and the little bit that I owe you all, I'm paying the bill now. And so I paid the bill anyway, and they said they'll have to investigate. And so, well, not investigate. They would turn it back on, but it would take, because they had recorded, it would take a certain amount. I think 48 hours, something like that. The next day after I paid the bill, someone changed the status and said that I requested to go from postpaid, which I am. I've been postpaid from Alive came out. I've never owed them. I've always been postpaid, and I've been paying the highest package for all these years. And they said I wanted to change it from postpaid to prepaid, and that's why they couldn't turn it back on, because I made that request. And they only do that when the customer makes a request. I never made that request. But they said now it's clogged up in the system. All right. And from then to now, this is now in September, I have not gotten my number back. I've not gotten it back. All right. So speaking to someone there, it's like this seems like someone is attacking you, like someone on the inside is doing something to you, like, because this doesn't make sense. All right. And that's what someone on the inside there said. I have to deal with these kinds of things over and over and repeatedly. This is the kind of sacrifice you make when you make the fight. And so I'm calling on Alive to stop doing nonsense. I do not owe them $1, not one dime. And I need them to stop playing with my number, because no one's number is taken in a matter of a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. That never happens. All right. It's normally 90 days. All right. And so we need them to stop discriminating. All right. Put politics on the side. You know, the government always has someone on the persons on the board of Alive. All right. So, so first they attacked me for my guns. Now they attack me for my numbers. I had 2 Bahamian banks, Bank of Bahamas, Commonwealth Bank. When I went to open up a business account, said that they're not opening a business account for me. Why? Come from the top. We don't know. There's no reason. I've been a customer of this bank since I was a teenager. Never owed y'all $1. Never been in overdraft. Always flowed millions of dollars through these banking institutions. And all of a sudden, for no reason, I can't open a business account. These are the kinds of attacks that I experience every day. I don't talk about them. All right. I don't talk about what I deal with personally. I don't talk about the attacks, the political vicious attacks that I have to deal with. I never talk about them. But this is what I have to deal with. So this is the kind of nonsense that Alive is doing. And anyway, let's continue. All right. We're going to continue to stay strong. Nothing y'all do. All this petty stuff you do, it don't move me. I just want the government and whoever they're influencing to know that you can't move me. The new Bahamas is here. All right? The new Bahamas is here. We had to face police officers being attacked by a police officer on the steps of Parliament while standing there peacefully, being attacked. So for these people who would do such a thing, the question is, do you understand that the new Bahamas is here? I'll leave that there. All right. So the two phone numbers are there, 803-5995 or 821 is a new number, 821-2843. 821-2843. All right. 821-2843 is on the line. I know it isn't catchy, but it's on the line. All right. So get used to it. 821-2843. All right. So we're going to start talking about these different ministers and what's going on with them. All right. So, all right. So we're going to start talking about them one by one, and you can call in at any time, and you can add your little 5 cents to it, and what you think about either one of them and what's going on right now. Okay. I am going to start with Mr. Wayne Monroe and National Security. I'm going to start with the two that didn't move. Two of them that didn't move. Wayne Monroe and National Security. I think the Bahamas is in a crime crisis right now. We're in an absolute crime crisis. Just before I get started, I know I said I had some documents that I have to reveal. Because we did so much with that taxi driver, I'm going to save this for Sunday. Yeah, we still drop in documents, all right? Because so much skullduggery is happening in this country. All right, but Wayne Monroe, National Security Minister. The country is in an absolute crime crisis that Wayne Monroe has no idea how he's going to solve. Murders are through the roof. Rape is through the roof. Robbery and break-ins, it's like you can't catch a break from crime. Everyone, since this New Day government has taken over, almost every Bahamian has been the victim of crime. Almost every Bahamian has been a victim of crime since this New Day government has taken over. They have no solution to murder. Now, all of a sudden, after chastising the F&M, all of a sudden they're saying nothing the government can do about murder. Yes, there is. If you hang a murderer, he'll never murder again. They say it's not a deterrent. Of course it is. They said executions is not a deterrent. Of course it is. How will he murder again? That's the only deterrent. That's the only deterrent. Because that's one murderer who will never murder again. It's simple as that. Rape is through the roof. Robbery is through the roof. Break-ins are through the roof. Crimes are through the roof. Before the election, the PLP, all they talk about was the drone money. Oh, $17 million on drones. $17 million on drones. Since the PLP taking over, y'all heard anything about the drones? Anything? Anyone? Anything about the drones? No. Nothing about the drones that could really help with crime fighting. Because they're not going to show up their partners in crime, the F&M. Before the PLP took over, they talked about the Marco Archer app. Do you see a Marco Archer app yet? No. They're using the broadcasting system that all phone companies have instead of the app that they should have used, that they have already spent a large amount of money on. They spent apparently millions of dollars on the Marco Watcher app, and now nothing, no app, none. And then the biggest crime that happened in our country, FTX, the biggest crime. The problem is they were all a part of it. And so now their names are being called internationally. Yes, they're naming names now. Alison Maynard, you call. Philip Brave Davis, you got some answering to do. AG, you have some questions to answer. The National Security Minister is an absolute failure. So everybody, I'm gonna watch the comments. My grade for Wayne Monroe and the Ministry of National Security is an F. That's the grade, F, because I can't go lower than that. What grade do you give the Minister of National Security? All right. What grade do you give the Minister of National Security? All right. I'll wait for you to catch up. My grade is an F. So Wayne Monroe, National Security, F. I've seen no plans. Someone says F minus. Okay, that works. F minus. You can go. Okay. I changed my grade to an F minus. I changed it. F minus. Okay. You can't go lower than F. Someone gave him a G. Jesus. Oh my God. F minus. Someone gave him an F plus. Oh wow. That's a positive person. You are very positive, Starboy Rule. F. Someone says a fat F. U unclassified. I remember that grade. I give him an F minus. Someone gave him an O. Minister of National Security gets a G. O minus. H. Z. Oh my God. 2 EZs. I can't even average this out. F. 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 I'm going to look at this and say that the Minister of National Security gets an average of an F minus, the absolute lowest grade. All right. And so I see all the Z's and all of that and all that. So that keeps him at an F minus. Duck egg, 0. Wow. 0. Wow. Yes, he gets an F. There's no solutions. He's actually taken up for criminals. He stopped the perp walk and all this kind of stuff. Remember how we had to fight him with the Bella situation? Remember me and Maria Doxson had to fight for that situation. I mean, it's been a wild ride with Wayne Monroe. A guy got 4 years for raping a child, and he said that is too harsh. He said it's just a 7-year-old or 9-year-old, whatever that was, can give consent. I was shocked that came out of his mouth, and that is wrong. That's not the truth, but that's what he said. All right. Someone says crime is his business, and that is true. And so why would he stop it? That's where he made his money. So I'm just making note of that. Wayne Monroe gets a F minus, a big fat F minus. Okay, perfect. Let's go to Education Minister Glennisana Martin. All right, so I'll start it out. Before I take the grades, let me just qualify this. And again, you can call in at any time, and you can say what you have to say about any persons I've done already. So, Glennisana Martin is the Ministry of Education. Don't start giving your grades yet. Education has been failing terribly in the last 2 years since the Progressive Liberal Party. The reports just came out. We have missed calls. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Missed a couple of your calls on the 821 number. You can call back. You can call back. Let me make sure this isn't on silent. Jesus, I'm so sorry. Yeah. There we see the calls now. Make sure it's not on silent. That's the 821 number. All right. But you can call any of the numbers that's on the screen. So Glennisana Martin, so you can still call and talk about the national security, etc. Glennisana Martin has failed us. They spent a bunch of money recently on some new program after the government wasted 17. The FNM government wasted 17 million on that failed program during the pandemic. The PLP went and spent money on a different program, spent again millions of dollars, and it was absolute garbage, absolute nonsense. It was beyond shocking that they spent a bunch of money. The schools again in disarray. We have 4 schools that have either no school or no teacher, or missing teachers. But 4 schools I think have no teachers or aren't up and running. One is Ragged Island that has been down for 6 years. All right, Ragged Island has been down for 6 years. Also, Staniel Key and Exuma. That's you, Chester Cooper. So Glenn Santa Martin and Chester Cooper. That's y'all, Staniel Key. Holmes Rock in Grand Bahama, and Low Sound in Andres. All right, so Ragged Island, that's Chester Cooper, has done nothing in the last 6 years, 2 of which he has been a senior member of parliament to get the school back up and running in Ragged Island. All right, that's Chester Cooper, who wants to be prime minister. And also in Stanley Key Exuma, he has done nothing, all right, to make sure that this school gets back up. All right. His focus is on getting investors to come. All right. Investors to come. Y'all come this way. Come to Exuma. All right. But we need an educated workforce, and we need educated Bahamians. Holmes Rock in Grand Bahama, Low Sound Andres. We also had an entire roof collapse of a school that was being built, and we see all the scandal, but I don't have to repeat everything that was happening there. All right, the school is in disarray. Teachers are complaining. A deal was signed with the government, but they still haven't gotten all that they're supposed to get. They're still waiting on some of their monies. They're still waiting on their monies. All right. So, like I told them when it happened, it's easy to sign a deal, but how many times have we seen? How many times have we seen in unions fighting? We'll take this call in the middle of doing this. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon. Thinking like this, that it was my duty.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you. We lost you. Hello? Okay, we lost him. You can call us back. All right, so let's now grade Glenna Santa Martin. Come on, everybody. Let's grade Glenna Santa Martin. I haven't gone into everything, but I think she has been, to me, I'm going to give her a grade, and I am going to I can't think of anything of education that has moved forward or jumped to the next level. I'm going to honestly give her, I'm going to give her an E. I wanted to give her a D. I was very close to giving her a D, but I can't think of anything in education that has been groundbreaking or anything that's happened. And if anyone corrects me on that, I'll be willing to switch her grade. But I can't think of any way that government has moved forward in terms of education. There's nothing groundbreaking happened. Nothing really changed or transformed. And so I have to give her E. She doesn't get an F for me, but she gets an E. All right. So everybody, what do you give Glenna Santa Martin? F. Some people says F. Disqualified, no grade. The PLP gets all zeros. Someone gave her a D. Oh, that's some good people. D. Education gets a C. Someone says they get a C. Collapsing F. Z for Zane. I know I gotta go. E for effort. A T plus. A for accessory to commit, I guess, accessory to crime. The roof of the umbrella is groundbreaking. That's roof breaking. Z minus, U, fat F, G for garbage. She placed a French child back on school. She is autistic, so she gets a D. Okay, that was a good summary indeed. Let's go to the phone lines quick. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good Lincoln. I just called in to say that my problem, what I see is, you just can't trust anything that this prime minister has to say, or what this government in total have to say. They came in saying that they were going to provide us with free electricity and the cost of everything is going down. I am a man on pension, and all I see is the cost of everything is going up.
Wow.
And this is monthly. The criminals in the country is saying that the so-called honorable men are breaking the law continually and doing what they have to do. So the criminals doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They are going to break the law since the honorable men can do it. I just don't know when we are going to have a government that we can trust. Before the PLP was in power, they were saying you were lying and there's no credit to the natural resources and all of that. Now, when they in power, all you can hear is the natural resources and what they're going to do. Mind, they don't have no means of the general public profited from it, but they are gonna profit from it. It seems like anything that this government cannot profit from, they do not concentrate on. And anything that they do, they will gain a profit.
Wow. All right. Thank you for your call, man. You are so correct, because that's all they do is profiting themselves. That's all they're interested in. Last thing I want to say, well, she gets. I gave her what I gave her, and based on what all of you gave her, I see some people gave her a C, etc. But so far, it seems like she gets, because of the so many people who gave her F or lower, she gets an F. All right. So that Glenn Santa Martin also gets an F. One thing I want to say about schools, and I think that this is important, and I can't believe how we allow this to continue for so long in our country, but this is serious. Tell me something. If you work in an office building and the AC goes bad, you know what they're going to do? They're going to send everybody home. Because you can't work in a hot building all day. They're going to send you home. No one would build an office building where people are going to be working and not put air conditioning in it. No one would even think of it. That would seem so ridiculous and stupid to even think of that. That would seem barbaric. Like you would say it's inhumane to have humans working in those conditions. No one would do that. And I want you to screenshot this and send this to the Prime Minister. No one would build an office building, a government office, a private office, or anything, and not design air conditioning there, central air, ductless, whatever. All right? No one would do that. So how in the world are you going to tell me that Bahamians are allowing our children to be trying to learn in the heat, in classrooms with no air conditioning? You wouldn't do it in your office. But you want your children to try to learn stuff for the first time in the heat? In the new Bahamas, every single school is going to be air conditioned. That is a priority. Every school will be fully air conditioned, powered by the sun. The sun that y'all have beaten them down is going to cool them. And by district cooling systems. Every single school, carbon credits can pay for it. Bahama has a district cooling system. They run cool air from their district cooling system is all the way You know where the entrance is, by that roundabout where I was kidnapped that time by the police. Heading towards Fusion on that road, on the left-hand side, there's a building there that is their district cooling system, and they pump the cold water into the building all the way from the district cooling system over there. Every school is going to have a district cooling system. We cannot do this to our children. It is barbaric. All of us have allowed this. Public schools and private schools where the children, parents paying and sit down in heat. Don't do that to our children. Those days are over. And so the PLP likes to watch my live and shop for ideas. That's where they got the idea of offering breakfast, because they heard us saying it. But we said breakfast and lunch, but they're only giving you breakfast. Oh, God. Children are going to get breakfast and lunch in the New Bahamas. They can eat it or not, it's going to be available. It's going to be there. And there's going to be a district cooling system. You could never go to a school in the United States of America and there's not air conditioning. Like, they wouldn't even fathom building a school like that. And I know Cecil Wallace Whitfield was the Minister of Education. He thought about building these schools without windows. I don't know why they don't have windows. That's kind of creepy. It's weird. All right? It's like you built prisons. But the schools in the US, they have windows. They do. They have windows and they have air conditioning. So you can have both. So if the air conditioning system breaks down, the district cooling system breaks down for some reason, open the windows. Then you do it out. But it should not be the norm. Stop doing this to our children. Mr. Bain can see my comments. I don't. That's Justin Smith. That's the only comment of yours that I've seen. I wasn't looking at the screen. I'm so sorry about that. All right. 803-5995 or 821-2843. I get change that number next time, right? I don't know who gave me that number. I change it. 821-2843. They say you better keep that. 821-2843. 821-2843. Jesus. So someone's live? Okay. Oh, someone's ringing. Okay, here we go. What's happening here? There you go. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. President.
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm pretty good, pretty good.
You ready to put AC in our schools for our children?
Man, listen, it's a shame and an absolute disgrace.
How dumb have our leaders been over the years? Like, no one thought of that?
Why not? They thought about it, but they just don't care.
They would never build a building and not put AC in it. Only the schools where the children are.
My goodness.
You treating the children like you're treating the prisoners and you expect them to act decently?
How can that be? They will respond to you, and likewise, how you treat them, they will treat you. How they are cared for, they will care for you. And likewise, listen, there is no reason that no air conditioning should be in our government schools. The country makes too much money. The thing is, when a government does not take care of its senior citizens and children, they have failed. They need to go. They need to step aside. They need to step aside. You mean to tell me none of our government schools have cafeteria, feeding our children free breakfast and free lunch, hotels of big style, along with our teachers? Our teachers are in the classroom teaching and educating our children, and still on top of that, they don't get to eat, and they're teaching foreign children also. Our teachers are being abused along with our children in the Bahamas, the jewel of the Caribbean, the paradise.
Wow.
How does that work?
It doesn't work. But thanks for your call, man. I got to continue.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you calling. All right. So let's keep going. Someone said, let's talk about what's happening in South Lucha. Okay. We'll get to all that stuff later. We gotta continue giving as much of these grades as we can. Transport, Jobette Kobe Davis, Transport, Minister of Transport. She was Minister of Transport and Housing. Hold on, let me take this other call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Bain. How are you?
I'm
Good
awesome. How
night,
you doing?
Bahamas. I'm wonderful. So this is just a message out to the parents. I think the parents now need to ask their kids exactly how they feel about school, because school wasn't the way it used to be when we were coming up in school. The schools are now extremely overcrowded with foreigners. Okay, a lot of parents that probably can't afford to pay for private teaching have pulled their children out of school, and you have Bahamian children that are surrounded by foreigners. And you're hearing from some of the children who are bold enough to speak. They said, in the school, on the campus ground, you have a large group of this of the Haitian Bahamians over here, then you have a large group of Jamaicans over here, and then you just have the Bahamian children walking around. School has become very stressful, and the schools are filled with gang. So when they are grading a Wayne Monroe and saying he's doing a good job, no, you're not doing a good job. Our children's lives are in danger every single day because we know what is going on in the schools. And most of our children do not speak to their parents, because I know when I was going through some things in school, the only way my mom would have known if someone pimp on me. So our children are just as stressed as the adults who is worrying about their outrageous light bill. Our children are just as stressed as the parent who is wondering where the mortgage money is going to come from. There's a whole different world out there, and our children is living in that world, and most of us are oblivious to it. We see it, but we do not understand what our children is going through, and our children is the next generation to carry this Bahamas on.
Yeah.
And it seems like they have been forgotten. Their mental state, everything has been forgotten. They're not able to grow up as children, because let's be real, the school has become a place of less learning, more war, and that's the truth. If you listen to the students, is anyone listening to the voices of the children? But that's all I had to say.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Powerful words. Wow. All right, let's get to the Minister of Transport, Jobette Colby. She was housing and transport, so we'll plug housing in there. As we discussed, Jobette Colby built some what do you call it? Built some low-cost homes. First and foremost, they gave our crown land in the Pinecrest area to our homes. Cronyism, that's the first act this government did, was continuous cronyism, and gave our crown land to our homes to let them build some shabbily built houses on swamp in Pinecrest. They filled it with a bunch of fill from somewhere else, and built the houses extremely high, maybe like 4 foot high or so, off of the ground. I mean, this is a waste of time. Just don't build there. I mean, Jesus. But anyway, they built these houses with no columns on the side. They just had the blocks crisscrossing each other, and they had no bell course, and they just built these houses together. And so it looks normal, but let's pray if a hurricane comes. But it was not built in the standard way the houses are built. So in terms of building those houses and giving yourself praise and pat on the back for it, I do not agree that that's how we build houses in the Bahamas. That's a failure to me. And they built a few houses. They talked about 1,500 houses or so that they was going to build. They've built 40 in 2 years. All right, about 40 or so. Is if my calculations are correct, I stand to be corrected. But they bragged about building about 1,500. All right, they've built about 40, and they're saying, "Oh, she built houses." I mean, they celebrate the darndest things. It's so amazing. But anyway, that's a housing record. Of course, we know that she, as a minister of cabinet, was accused of knocking down a police officer. The prime minister lied about it. They covered up. The police gone quiet. Everything disappeared. And of course, in terms of transport, a bunch of plates were given out. We were going to give out plates also. That's something we were going to do. People were suspicious of who these plates went to. They were concerned that some of these plates went to foreigners who were naturalized instead of Bahamians who've been waiting for them. Um, that was a big concern. They've not given account of how many plates they've given out, and people are very concerned with that. We're concerned with the mistreatment of taxi drivers on her watch in the Bay Street area and in other areas. We're concerned that after I met with Kobe, the taxi signs are still not on Wood Rogers Wharf, where the Surrey drivers used to be. That's the horse and carriage. We went out there today to inspect, and the taxi signs are still not there, where that is a taxi zone, and private cars are still parked there. Now, the day after I went out there, they put up a two trailers, air conditioned trailers. So thank you for that. Not that I'm really thanking you for doing your job, but I think it's polite to say. We shouldn't praise politicians for doing their job. I mean, I think it's sick and sickening. I think it's a real slave mentality. When you praise a politician for just doing their job. It's like you praise the maid for making up the bed. Like, seriously? You praise the maid for washing the dishes. Oh, well, the previous maid didn't wash the dishes properly, so I gotta praise this one for washing the dishes. That's what you pay them for. Oh, my MP paved the road. In the New Bahamas, we do not expect our members of parliament, and I will call them in, if they dare try have a celebration about paving a road or doing any normal feat. If you build a bridge from Nassau to Exuma, let's celebrate that. But paving McCullough Corner, we don't want to see you on Facebook with that. All right. And so anyway, back to Ministry of Transport. There's still no united bus system. Yes, in the New Bahamas, there's going to be a united bus system. Some people don't know how that's going to work. The bus system sucks. The transportation system in this country sucks. It is very easy for us to have a proper transportation system. All right? New Providence is as big as Disney World. I'm exaggerating, but we could have a proper system of transportation where everyone can be on time and reduces traffic. We could have a proper bus system that operates by a schedule. How do we do this? We're going to take every franchise, every bus driver, we are going to give them shares in the new bus franchise. And so depending on how many buses you have, you're going to get shares for each one of those buses. You're also going to be allowed to buy more shares into the system. All right. And there's going to be one busing system with proper buses where you can put your bicycles in the front and disabled persons can catch a ride on the bus. All right. There's going to be a proper busing system. There's going to be a system to allow the disabled person to come in the bus and be able to operate independently. All right. We're going to invest in this. And so we don't take bread out of any of these bus drivers' mouth. Now, instead of them having to hustle, maintain the buses, etc., they are going to get a piece of the pie because they have a bus. And we're going to take those buses off the streets, and we're going to invest in new buses. Those buses will be sold to churches, etc., whoever needs them, charities, etc. But we're going to have proper buses that we can use to have a proper transit system to reduce the traffic and to give you reliable bus service. All right? And so that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to have consultation, of course, first with the bus drivers and let them know for every bus you have, you get a share. And you can buy more shares if you want to. Now we're going to hire the drivers who are working on a salary, so they don't have to speed up and down the road, stressing themselves out, getting in accidents, stopping where they shouldn't stop. You stop in a bus area that's designated for buses. And you leave that spot at a certain time. The bus leaves here at 9 o'clock. There's a schedule people can see on their mobile app. And they can see how far the buses is. They can look on this mobile app and see where the bus is. All right? Card system, digital system where you make your payments. You don't have to worry about collecting cash or people jumping in your bus. And no, you come in, you scan in, you pay, it takes off of your account, etc., etc. We're going to do this thing properly. All right? No vision has come from them. Now, of course, I've just said this, so now we're going to see them talking about this in the next 3 years. I don't care. We want the Bahamian people to benefit. All right, there's more to that, but I'll leave it there just for now. We need a proper bus system, and there's going to be with that a school busing system, so the children don't have to be catching bus with all these creepy adults. Your child risks getting off the bus, another man walks off, hold their hands, and walk off with them. There's no one to help them. The bus pull off. All right. There's going to be a school busing system. The school buses will have live cameras that they can be monitored by authorities to make sure that everything is okay with our kids. All right. There will be a school busing system for of course, the schools are going to be in your neighborhoods, but if you live too far from the school, you jump on the bus, and the bus has central areas they pick up and drop off. All right. But we'll get to all that later. We need a proper busing system. Nothing from the government yet on that. All right. In the New Bahamas, which is a short time away, you're going to have that. All right. Again, Freeport Harbor taxi situation, all the crimes happening there in terms of these buses being there, they're bonded, no license. She knew about it, said it's wrong, did nothing. I give her F just because of that. All right. Also, she's going into energy, but anyway, we're grading her now. But she's going into energy, and there's some stuff we're going to talk about BPL, but we'll get to that afterwards. All right. After we get as far as we can get with this. All right. So, Jobette Colby Davis with transport and housing. What's your grade? I give Jobette Colby Davis because I don't see any progress in transport. I don't see any progress in housing other than just a few houses built, and those houses were poorly built, and they were built on swamp, and that was our crown land given to our homes. This was corruption. Because it was given to our homes, there was no tender, no kind of competition, no transparency. I give them an absolute F minus because they did that cronyism and crime, in my opinion, with our homes. F minus for Jobette Colby. F minus. What do you give her? Lines are open. 803-5995. I don't know this new number. 821-2843. 821-2843. F minus. Someone gave, Prince Miller gave her, he has a PLP symbol. He gave her A. All right. I guess that's A for, what does A stand for? A for, A for class. A. Prince Miller gave her A. All right. I gave her an F. All right. F. I give her F minus. Sorry about that. F minus for Jobette Colby Davis. Okay. Everyone is saying what the A is for. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're live. You're live. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hey, Mr. President, how you doing?
I'm awesome.
All right, that's good. Yeah, I just want to catch that piece with Ms. Davis. I want to give her an F as well.
Okay, why do you give her an F?
No, my thing is they increasing wages and things on these buses and stuff like that. I feel as though the first thing they need to change inside that system is the system itself. You can't go up on wages, and the system itself is garbage. You know what I mean? You got these drivers up here driving up and down, fighting for a little dollar, whatever it may be, putting people's lives at risk, whatever the case may be. But then the first thing they wanna do is go up on the wages. No, put a proper system in place.
Yeah.
Put a proper system in place first. You understand me? A safe system in place where persons will feel, better and safe in catching the buses rather than saying go up on wage. Nobody wants to go in their pocket to go higher on wages just to be speeding up and down now. So you understand? You're sure to get to the right place in time or safely.
Yeah.
I think an accident just happened today with a bus. You understand? Like, come on, fix the system first before you go up on the wages. That's just my advice.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. That's his call. That Prince person who's on here gave her. He said she's an excellent minister. That's his opinion. And so, based on the averages, she gets the lowest grade of an F minus. All right. She gets an F minus. All right. Okay. So let's keep moving. Okay. We got another call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good night, Ms. Bain. It's me again.
Yes.
I want to address some of the issues in the hotel as well. I've been seeing a lot of reports and also having a lot of calls from persons out of the hotel industry about the way that they are being treated from their managers. Most of their managers are foreigners. And once upon a time, tourism industry, especially in the hotel, was something most persons enjoy doing. The money was good. You were treated like a human being and not like a slave. It seems like they have no one to turn to. They made reports to labor, and nothing has happened. Persons' insurances or NIBs are not being paid. It's like no one is there, besides the Coalition of Independence, of course, is standing up and operating on behalf of the Bahamian people as they should. And this is one of the reasons why I can't see myself working in the hotel industry around this time. Once upon a time, it was okay, but now it's not. And next year, God spares life, a lot of our children are going to be coming out of school and they're going to be working in these industries. We have parents, grandmothers, grandfathers who are working in the hotel now and they're not being treated right. What do you think is going to happen to the next generation of Bahamian children who is going to enter the tourism industry? The tourism industry we so like to brag about, talking about is our number one industry, and it is that same industry that's almost owned by foreigners that is treating us like crap in our own country.
Wow.
This is our home. This is our kingdom. No foreigners should come in our country and make us feel lower than dirt.
Yeah. I agree.
And it seems like the Labor Department is not doing anything about it. They're not hearing the cries and the woes of the Bahamian people. So I encourage our people to stand up for yourself, because no one is coming to help you. You have to stand up for yourself. By standing up for yourself, you're standing up for your children, because your children are looking up to you. And by standing up for your children, you're standing up for the entire nation. But we have to stand up for ourselves. We're not going to get the help from the people that we put in place. It is time for us to put them in check. No foreigners, whether they are running from something or running to something, should come here, get wealthy off the backs of the Bahamian people and treat them like trash. That is unacceptable.
Thank you for your call. I appreciate it. You are fully 100% on point. The texts are saying the same thing. You are 100% on point. Prince Miller asks how you can call in. You can call in 803-5995. That's regular. That's a WhatsApp call on 803-5995. And you can also call in by 821-2843. And so that PLP person wants to call in, you're also welcome to call in and ask the tough questions. Prince Miller, you can call. You're free to call in. All right. The next person we're going to go to is Michael Darville. Michael Darville. We have half hour more on this. Michael Darville. All right. Michael Darville has been the Minister of Health. He has not been shuffled. So far, health has been an abject failure. Our health system is in shambles. It's 2 years in. They could have built a hospital in 2 years. They could have transformed the entire hospital in 2 years. There's no excuse for not having done what they're supposed to do. Our nurses are still leaving in droves. The conditions at the hospital is terrible. People, they're running out of blood, plasma, etc. Sometimes they're running out of medication at the hospitals. Healthcare is in disarray in this country, um, and there seems to be no hope in sight. Michael Davel has offered nothing, nothing of substance, no innovation, nothing. Our health minister has talked about satellite ambulance stations so that you can get to the hospital faster. You don't have to wait for the ambulance to come all the way from downtown, all the way out east, and then drive all the way back because minutes every second is critical when you're in an emergency situation. And so, but from Michael Davel, there's been no vision, no innovation, just holding on. We have seen clinics around this country and they're in disarray. It seems like every family island you go to, they are neglected. Failure. All right, failure. The Mangrove Key situation, we heard Michael Davel talking to a lady and making excuses for why that place still doesn't have a clinic after they've given monies to croonies, et cetera. Fail. Epic fail. Our healthcare system is terrible. They're not proper hospitals in the family islands when there should be. The family island persons pay more taxes than New Providence people do because they spend more on the items they need. Michael Davel, you have failed. You are a disgrace to this country. How could the hospital be running out of medication? Your wife is in the pharmacy business. You should at least know how to get medicine. Michael Davel, you are allowing humans to die when they should not. You are an abject failure. I give you an F minus. What do you give Michael Davel, everybody? You're watching. Michael Davel, I gave him an F minus. And I'm not just saying this to be facetious or to be vicious. These are my honest grades. I think he's an abject failure. I see no bright spot when it comes to health in this country so far. No, not one. If there were another pandemic, I don't think that they're ready. I give him an F minus. Someone gives him a G. Wow. Wow. All right. F, F, F. So your grade appears to officially be an F minus, Michael Davel. That is you. That's your grade. After this first break, you are an abject failure. All right. Let's go to another gentleman. His name is Keith Bell. Keith Bell. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to even talk about this gentleman. His name is now like a cuss word in the Bahamas. I have nothing to say. F minus. We all know Keith Bell. What's your grade for Keith Bell? Keith Bell. He has a J for jail. Someone is under the jail. His grade is jail. I give him an F minus. Maria Doxson gives him a G. All right, someone gives him a fat F. F, 0. Keith Bell, we coming for you. Keith Bell, now a cuss word in the Bahamas. All right. All right. So F, 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 F. Let's not continue to talk about a criminal. Alfred Sayers, ladies and gentlemen. Alfred Sayers. Alfred Sayers. Alfred Sayers. Alfred Sayers has been an abject failure. He has failed us. He has been one other than Keith Bell. He probably, let me think good, is no Keith Bell, Glenn Santa Martin, Wayne Monroe. I mean, all of them have failed. I can't class them. Keith Bell is the worst, but Alfred Sayers, our roads are in disrepair. Our roads are in a terrible state. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible state. Our roads are shameful. I absolutely can't believe that this is the Bahamas in the 21st century. Our roads are disgraceful. How could we let this happen, Bahamas? How? How could those politicians face us? How could they walk with their heads high around this town? How could we let this happen? Someone explain that to me. The roads are in terrible disrepair. Terrible disrepair. Terrible disrepair. Jesus. I am. Oh my God. I gotta. Before the end of this, I can show you all some stuff. All right. I can show you all some stuff. I have it loading now. Jesus. Our roads are in terrible disrepair. You've seen all the videos about the potholes. I mean, and he can come with his slow talk and professional talk. Well, the potholes are going to be addressed. And I think we're going to look to have a new dispensation of potholes on the road. But now I'm going to leave that up to someone else as I go to give away citizenships at immigration. The man has failed. The roads are in terrible disrepair. Terrible. Give me a sec because I'm distracted trying to load this stuff up. The roads are in terrible disrepair. BEC doesn't work. It is horrific. It is horrific and I mean shameful. BEC is an absolute disgrace. BEC is an absolute disgrace. All right? The price of BEC, the scandalous things that are going on there, the excuses, it's an absolute disgrace. We're not even entertaining the conversation of these excuses. I'm embarrassed to be a Bahamian when it comes to our infrastructure. I'm embarrassed. Waterworks is running out of water on Eleuthera. Running out of water. Not giving proper service. BC is a fail because it should have gone solar and it's not gone solar. We get to that down the line. Nothing in his portfolio is working well. I also give him an absolute, the lowest grade possible because this man was responsible for the proliferation or for preventing the proliferation of shanty towns. That's you, Alfred Sayers. You were responsible for that. You were responsible to make sure that the shanty towns did not grow in this country, but guess what happened? They grew under you. That's what happened. You should be ashamed of yourself for shantytown to go from 50 acres, and it wasn't 50 acres. They're doing a saying that to make it sound good. One shantytown, Farm Road. They said it went from 50 acres to 500 acres. On your watch, Alfred Sayers. But then you have the SC Boodle Highway, another 500 acres, north of it and south of it. It's not 1,000 acres, 1,500 acres on your watch, all over New Providence. But you were sending the National Guard, the Defense Force, all these guns and everything else to attack Bahamians. You, Alfred says, in conjunction with the other failure, Wayne Monroe, in conjunction with the other failure, the Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Vaughan Miller, you. Even when the judge told you to break down the shanty, the houses, you said you're going to do it and never did it. You, Alfred says, you are an abject failure. You should never see politics in this country again. Fort Charlotte, don't you all dare let this man come back into the House of Assembly and talk, but he is nice. Don't you all dare let that happen again. He has failed us. We have a right to have proper working roads and not have our cars broken up. He has failed. My grade for Alfred says is an F minus. This government is. I'm trying to find F minus. What is your grade for Alfred says? Someone help me. F minus. You can call in the line. The numbers are on the screen. F minus. Alfred says F minus. You threaten Bahamians on Crown Land. You, Alfred says. But we still here. You take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bain. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing
Go
good,
ahead.
thank you.
Good afternoon. Just hold the line.
I just wanted.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to mention when you were talking about Alfred Fair.
Yes.
I think that's his name. He was in charge of waterworks, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to find out from the Bahamian people who are like, I don't live home, and I was visiting my daughter, and like the water not even coming out the pipe to bathe in the afternoon. I was like, oh my God, and the water is so bad, it's rusting away the pipe, like the steel.
Yeah.
It's like from the water dripping and everything. I mean, even in the kitchen, in the fridge, and I'm like, I told my daughter, I said, y'all gonna die from this water.
Wow.
Oh my God. Let me tell you people, Bahamian people. I live in the United States, and I'm an activist here, and I love my country because one day I want to come back home.
Yes.
And what I see going on home from living in another country, it is ridiculous. I mean, and I just see the people living, and everybody living a fake life, basically. Like it seems like everything good, and the people are very. I mean, like things are not good. And I just wanted to bring that across to the people. Like the water system is horrible, people.
It is
horrible. Don't drink it. Don't brush your teeth with it. I don't know, but listen, it's terrible, and I just want to put that piece. And many more things I can say, but I'll leave the line up for somebody else who wants to call.
Thank you. We have someone else on the line. We appreciate your call.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good evening, Mr. Bain. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Thanks for asking. Listen, I want to piggyback off of the caller who called a while back when you were talking about education. I know we've already moved on from that.
Yeah.
But I wanna put my 5 cents in there because she was being really kind when she spoke about the climate on our school campuses.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Our campuses, we don't have campuses anymore, Mr. Bain. We have war zones. We have battlefields. We don't have campuses anymore. I have sons. I have 3 sons. One is in primary, one is in junior, and one is in senior. So I can tell you about what's happening on these campuses. And I'm on one of the school boards at one of the schools. So I can tell you about the climate in these schools. Our children are being bullied, and our children are being ganged and stomped like cockroaches in these schools.
What?
I can tell you firsthand of a student who was ganged by a Haitian gang in Donald Davis. He was thrown to the ground, his hand was stretched across the pavement, and his hand was stomped. His bones were crushed. But you never heard that in the news. That was never reported.
Wow.
Another student at C.I. Gibson, he was thrown to the ground, and the boys, the Haitian, I'm going to be frank, they were Haitian students. They stomped this boy into the pavement. This is what's happening to our students on these campuses, these war fields, these battlefields. Our children are targets. And I don't only blame the government and the ministries. I blame the parents. You know why I blame the parents? Because everybody sits by silent. Everybody is on these streets talking about PLP and FLM. They don't give a shit. I'm sorry for my French, but they don't give a shit about us or our children. Their children are going to Leipzig school and boarding schools and this school where they pay thousands and thousands of dollars for their education. But for me and the other parent who don't have no choice, I still have to go to these government schools. And these government schools are war zones, Mr. Bean. They are war zones. Our children are being raped in these schools and they're not being reported. These Haitian children are fondling our girl children. They're raping these children in the schools.
Wow.
They're assaulting these children in the schools and nobody is saying anything about it. And it's sad because when we go to work and we think our children are safe in these schools, they are not. They are not. Our children are afraid on these campuses. The Haitian gang have the upper hand because it's more than them. It's more Haitians than Bahamians in the schools now. They have the upper hand. So what are our children to do? They stand, they fall, and they be quiet. In the Bahamas, Mr. Ben, in the Bahamas. I'm not talking about no one. I'm not talking about Haiti. I'm talking about in the Bahamas. Our Bahamian children are subjected to the violence of the Haitian children on our campuses. It's not only the government to blame, it's the parents. Because what are we doing? What are we doing? We sitting by talking about, oh, the government doing good. They doing good. They fixed the window in the school. They add another classroom. But what does that benefit our children who are afraid on these campuses? My son is in primary school. And every day he tells me about the stories of who got bullied and who ain't got bullied. But this is what we have to deal with. But we bring it on ourselves, Mr. We brought it on ourselves.
Let me tell you something. A new Bahamas is coming. We are going to defend children. Those days, that's all I have to say.
My thing is, I pray something be done before the new Bahamas. Because you're going to find that more and more parents are pulling their children out of schools to homeschool them.
Yes.
Because that is on my list of things to do.
Wow.
Because I promise you, I will murder somebody for one of my boys.
And I wouldn't blame you.
They can record that. I will murder somebody for one of my boys.
Wow.
But that's all I have to say. Our children are on war zones, not campuses.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's why we have the C average in the exams. Because they can't function. They're afraid. They can't function. But that's my 5 cents, Mr. Dan.
Thank you for your call. There's a serious situation going on in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And we could sit with our heads in the sand to our own peril. I want to show you this video. We were talking about the roads, what Alfred says. I want to show you this video. Alfred says, and the PLP, Brave Davis, gave a $17 million contract with Crooney of Brave Davis. a crony of Brave Davis. His name is Ezra Russell, who before the election bragged about how much things he have because of Brave Davis and being a crony for him while everyone else suffers. He laughed at it. This is the garbage of a road that they spent $17 million on in Red Bay's Andres. This is why we suffer. Because clearly, they probably spend a small amount of money on this road and pocket the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your road in your Bahamas. So what they're trying to show you is that this road is very poorly done. It's very untidy. It looks rocky. They said you can see the dirt, the quarry coming up on it, and some parts of it. Um, uh, they are disturbed. Look at it carefully. You can't see it too good on this video, but that road is so untidy. It's ridiculous. Look, I mean, it's unneat. Look how bumpy and I mean, it's just deplorable. That's a $17 million Brave Davis Road. As more of it. It's the $17 million road.
Hi. You're welcome.
We even got. They said they already got some. There's already some roads in some parts. Some said I got like a track road. Look at it. $17 million. $17 million. Jesus. That's the road, y'all. That's the road. It is definitely a new day. That's all I could say. It is definitely a new day. How y'all enjoying your new day? Good evening, you're live.
I should have joined live tonight, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean, when our government released contracts to persons, it seems like they just release contracts to anyone. Shouldn't this contract have been given to an engineer? Someone that knows how to lay out proper roads with proper drainage. And then when they build these roads, they don't even line them off. There's no proper signage. There's nothing. It's just wasted money. And within a month, or with heavy rain, we have instant potholes. And it seems like they are not learning from their mistakes. The government would issue a contract for roads, knowing that contracts were issued maybe last year, with potholes bigger than the craters on the moon. And we have yet to see a plan of how we're going to move forward in a sustainable way, where when we build our roads, these roads can last us up for years.
Caller, let me help you with this, right? I've said this before. The airport road was built by the Chinese, the road to the airport. All these years later, not one pothole. No Bahamian has seen one pothole in that road. They've not had to repair nothing in that road. They haven't had to patch nothing in that road. It was properly done, properly engineered, with the right slant, the right drainage, etc., etc. It was properly done. Proper engineering. Harold Road, or Tony Gwilym Darling Highway, was done by the Spanish. All these years later, not a pothole in Harold Road. Okay? It is impeccable. All right.
So every year, or when the government feels like it, they feel like they can just go into our kitty, take a 17 million, 8 million, 9 million here, 40 million here, and just give it to whoever they want to give it to, while increasing taxes in our country, increasing NID, increasing money on bread basket items. We're here paying for their trip. The Bahamian people, it always falls back on the Bahamian people. And this is, again, I go back to the children. Again, this is falling back on the generations to come. And this is what we, the people, are allowing. I'm saying nobody is thinking about the children. But yes, Mr. Bean, come election time, the PLP and the FNF is going to focus on our young people. They're going to prey on them like parasites because they want their vote. But I want to tell them they need to keep their stinking claws off of our children.
Thank you for your call. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it so much. And you are absolutely right. For all of you, I want you to look at this picture that I have showing right now. That's the corner. That's how they did the corner. Mind you, look at what do you name? Ezra Russell, Brave Davis people. Brave Davis probably getting a cut of this. I don't know that, but I can't tell you why. Come on, look at that corner. Look at what Ezra Russell did to the corner. Man, what kind of hot chop up job this is? Find your screenshot this and share this to the world. This with Ezra Russell. This how he do the corner. This is Andres. Look at it. Look at that garbage. This is embarrassing. Look at how this road here already had a hole that they had to patch. See that big square there? They had to patch because the road was already getting hole. So they had to put this big square patch in there because it patch up this brand new road, you know. The road that already started falling apart. Patch it up. This 17 million, that must be the magic number. Drone, 17 million. The school LMS system, 17 million. The roads in Andrea, 17 million. Disgraceful. Yeah, absolutely disgraceful. Clay Sweden, Ministry of Agriculture. Clay Sweden, Ministry of Agriculture. Agriculture has done nothing to move forward. They have an egg program that they said they did. Listen, eggs is so easy to do. We should have been flooded with eggs from the Bahamas right now. I don't see any in the stores yet. All they had is this egg program is coming. Listen, you can get chicken and lay eggs like that. They don't even have to mate to lay eggs. Once they eat any kind of calcium, they just lay eggs. They feed them calcium, the calcium carbonate that they use from aragonite. They use that to feed chickens, get them to lay eggs too. Eggs is the easiest thing. So after 2 years of y'all talking about this new egg program, we ain't seen no eggs on the shelf yet. Y'all flamming. Y'all need to tell us what happened with this money. Y'all could have given that to Farmer Pratt, Farmer Cates, other farmers that's out there, and they would have had y'all loaded with eggs by now, with millions of eggs probably. There's no innovation in agriculture right now. Clay Sweeting, I give you an F. Not an F minus, because at least you came up with some idea for this egg thing, although it's a flam. It's flam. All right, F. Clay Sweeting, let's say your grades. Clay Sweeting, I give him an F. Clay Sweeting, F. Clay Sweeting, F. All right. I'll move on quickly. Chester Cooper is trying to ride on the back of this post-Dorian situation. And everyone who goes in tourism tries to look good, because tourism is just what we do. That's what we invest in. The government pumps a lot of money into tourism. They do a lot of advertising in it. And so anyone who's a minister of tourism, they just try to take the credit for what's happening with tourism when we do nothing to affect it. Chester Cooper is there's no revolution in tourism. Tourism is our number one industry, and what he should have been doing, instead of making an advertising agency, one, we should have been investing in that industry. That's what I would have done. We would have been in the cruise ship industry. We'd have been doing boutique hotels all across this archipelago, borough style huts in remote places like Crooked Island, etc. That would just be luxurious getaways for persons. But there's no vision. There's no vision coming from the Bahamas. They're sitting down waiting on other persons to come in and invest and bring their ideas and make the money and pay politicians under the table. There's no vision. All right. 8 million tourists are going to brag about that. The 8 million tourists that come here, 80% of them don't come off of the ships, and they scare them to not come off of the ships. Nothing, no benefit from that. There's no benefit from tourism if the country doesn't own the tourism product. I was studying economy recently, and they had this thing written out where it said that most of the tourism countries are poor. Most of the country where tourism is the number one industry are poor. Only Dubai broke through that. But the countries where tourism is the number one industry, they're poor. All of them. They're poorer than other nations like them. They even gave examples, Bahamas, Jamaica, Barbados, etc. They give examples of this. They even give examples of, compared to our other European countries, the Southern European countries are poorer than the other ones because they focus on tourism. Their focus is of Spain, of Italy, etc. is more tourism, and they are poorer than the other European countries, like Lithuania, Luxembourg, I should say, and other countries, Sweden, etc. The focus is not tourism. If you don't own your tourism product, you failed. We're going to revolutionize tourism to where we own the tourism product. But in terms of you, Chester Cooper, I'm not impressed. Of course, more people are traveling because they were locked down for almost 2 years. And so they're automatically traveling. The cruise ships are choosing to come to us. You're not doing anything to do that. You're riding on that coattail. Chester Cooper, because you've not been caught in any literal scandals, I'm going to give you a D. All right, Chester Cooper, I give you a D. I give you an F. if I want to get theoretical and say the direction we should be going in, but apparently you guys don't have the capacity or the vision to go in that direction, so I won't hold you to that. But based on the way it is now, I don't see any innovation in tourism. I don't see anything new. I don't see where you're taking us forward. So Chester Cooper, I gave you a D. What is your grade for Chester Cooper? I'm curious about this. What is your grade for Chester Cooper? Chester Cooper, what is your grade for Chester? All right. Let me see your grade, everyone. What's your grade? I give him a D. All right. Because there's been scandals in Exuma as a member of parliament. Someone says F minus. Chester Cooper have E. Oh my God, this sure don't play. E. Chester Cooper, big fat F minus. Oh wow. E. E for immigration scandal. Jesus. Chester Cooper gets an F. Oh my God. Chester Cheetos gets an F. Everyone giving him an F. F, 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 F. They are heartless. I gave him a D, but look like that D is being overridden. Someone says F all the way. O plus. Jesus. Chester Cooper, based on what I am seeing, your grade, you are doing the best so far. Your grade is an F. Yep, your grade so far is an F. All right. So everyone else got an F minus, you get an F. All right. So Chester Cooper, you are the star of the show right now. How about Fred Mitchell? Fred Mitchell has been traveling a lot, carrying a lot of fellas with him as he travels. He has transformed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs into something it should not be. I don't know. Fred Mitchell, I have to say this because that's our money and that's our ministry. You have turned the Ministry of Foreign Affairs into Sodom and Gomorrah. Your campaign generals have told me this. One of your campaign generals have told me that he almost got into trouble with these people that you have brought there. You should be ashamed of yourself. You are using that ministry for your own personal benefit. You're traveling the world on our backs and producing nothing. I have seen nothing that you have brought back to benefit this country. Fred Mitchell, you get an F minus. For bending the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to your will. Everybody, let's grade Fred Mitchell for his work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I give him an F minus. F minus. Okay. F minus, F minus, F minus. You got a J. It's 6 for Jesus. He needs help. G. Someone says the partying must stop. I agree. Fred Mitchell sent a picture with him eating steak and caviar. I mean, bragging. Someone gave him an LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ plus. I'm not saying this to be facetious, but when someone, see, if you want to be a homosexual, that is your, listen, if you want another man without sex, it's between you and that other man. I am my business. But when you are using your ministry for your personal gain, that's a problem. Dr. Miles told you about that. When you are hiring a bunch of homosexuals right? Pia Glover. Somebody said, let's talk solutions. We've been talking solutions. Have you been listening? Talk about the solution for the bus industry. Talk about some solutions for crime. That's education, some changes we're making in education. We've been mixing it in there, but there's some things that have to be said. Pia Glover, and Pia Glover, public service. The public servants have been complaining and crying out. I give Pia Glover a D. I give Pia Glover a D. What do you guys give her? She's now been moved. Pia gets a C. Someone gave her a C. You won't get any argument from me. I gave her a D. Because the public servants right now, the public servants aren't moving forward. There's no vision for the public service. There's much more. We need to treat our people special. But she's not been in any scandal, etc. That's so crazy when the best thing that you can say about some of these ministers is you've not been in a bad scandal. I give her a D, right? Someone give her E, D, D plus, Pia, an F. Someone gave her an F. All right, so that's the grades. F, 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 F. Oh, P, I tried to give you a D, but because you got so much F's, that's going to work out to an E. All right, so some people gave you C, etc. That's going to work out to an E. All right, so you're on top of Chester Cooper. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis. I think that so far you have been a terrible Minister of Finance. Our finances are not in order in this country. As Minister of Finance, you have failed. As Minister of Finance, you allowed FTX to come in here and rob this country on your watch. You sped up things for them. You allowed that financial scandal to happen in this country. The finance of this country, you've broken the law as it relates to procurement that comes under you, Minister of Finance. You broke the law and admitted to breaking the law and said that you were just going to go and change the law. That's you acting like you're a king. That's when you feel like you're a king, when you just do what you want. Until they say, okay, it's against the law, well, I'll change the law. That's when you are in a dictatorship. Everything that Brave Davis is doing is pointing to being a dictatorship. Everything. All right? All these scandals are happening. He's saying nothing, doing nothing. The man is traveling like there's no tomorrow. As the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister responsible for what is going on, I give you an F minus. An F minus. You and Minis are tied for worst prime ministers in the history of this country. Minis didn't have as much scandals and as much ministers involved in scandals as you do. F minus. What do y'all give the prime minister? F. No show. I think I've changed my grade. That person asked me to change my grade. I for incomplete. You know when you don't show up to class, you didn't get enough to even be considered? He's not been here long enough to be prime minister or to even get a grade. Wow. That is shocking. All right, I have to leave it there for now. There for now. Oh, I still have this road up in front of my face. I'm sorry. I have to roll with the patch. I have to leave it there for now. Which other MP do y'all want me to consider quickly? Which other MP do y'all want to consider? What MP y'all want to consider before? I want to share one more thing before we go. All right. Vaughn Miller. We can't skip out Vaughn Miller. All right. Him and Biden is always on vacation. All right. Him and Biden remind me a lot of each other. You know, barely could talk and that kind of stuff. Vaughn Miller is the Jesus. Has he been in scandals? Yes. The Crown Land scandal, where they harassed Bahamians on Crown Land, lied on Bahamians, lied and said it wasn't the Haitians making the coal, that it was Bahamians making the coal. Yep, Vaughn Miller said that, remember? So he's been in scandals. There's a shanty town right behind his church. Vaughn Miller had everything to say about the natural disasters before election. Now he is saying and doing nothing, keeping his mouth shut. He's a minister of environment. The country is dirty, filthy. There was oil spills. There's oil spills going on right now by BPL on Clifton Pier, and he's doing nothing. There was an oil spill in Exuma on the Chester Cooper watch by the same Frankie Wilson and crew, Sunshine Boys. They are keeping secret. What the fine was, the fine could have been $2, and we don't know. Vaughn Miller is one of the worst members of parliament in Bahamian history. He used y'all to get his pension. 2 terms, he got a pension. He used y'all. He got what he wanted. Why you have to do anything with anything? He used y'all. Y'all got swing because y'all up and down behind PLP and F&M. So he realized that we just swing every time. So he swung from F&M and swung to PLP and swing y'all in Golden Isles. Y'all get swing. All right. So Vaughn Miller, F minus. F minus. You are a horrible minister. You are an embarrassment as a Bahamian. You are sitting down like a slimy, slithering snake in the grass, while our natural resources are still being raped and robbed in this country. You had everything to say before election, and now you are saying nothing. You are a hypocrite. You are a disgrace. And you are looking out for yourself and not the Bahamian people. You should never see the halls of Parliament again. Never. And you do not deserve a pension from our Parliament. You did not work for it. You did not earn it. Anyone else y'all want to see? Someone said Leslie Bryce, but she's not in cabinet. She's not a minister. And so she doesn't qualify. But all of the decorations and stuff that she has done has been on point. The girl has talent. All right. They swung her. They knew that she couldn't take any position because of her husband being involved in numbers. They knew that before, but they still let her run and waited till she got in to tell her, you can't run because your husband is a number man. Someone says, Obi Wilscombe, Minister of Social Services. Obi Wilscombe, Minister of Social Services. Okay. Obi Wilscombe, Social Services has decreased their budget. A lot of people are complaining that they're not getting their rentals, et cetera, their rent assistance. I get 70 to 100 calls every single day of people wanting assistance. People calling, and one time ago, people would call and ask for $50 and $20. People are calling for $500, $1,000. Some people got for $2,000, $1,200. People are calling for big money now. People need help with rent, electricity, all this kind of stuff. The Minister of Social Services is not doing enough. Until Bahamians do not have to beg, failed. Right? And so there's a lot to social services. There's a lot of people that need psychiatric assistance, social assistance. Then in certain situations, there's no shelter that has been built for the single mothers or women right now, the women in distress. Right now, someone asked me, what do you do? Do you help people this and that? Yeah, I do on a daily basis. But right now, I'm housing several families free of charge. I don't brag about it. I don't say what I'm doing, but I'm housing, I'm assisting persons right now as we speak. All right. Several. The government has not spent the $500,000 chump change. That ain't even the budget for one of Fred Mitchell drips. Chump change. They said they were going to spend $500,000 to build a shelter for women. They didn't do it. We doing it. And they're fighting us. We doing it. Instead of helping us, they turned off the power to one of the buildings where we were doing that. When they figured out that's what we were doing there. So instead of letting Bahamians get help, they decided to just block it. They don't care. They don't care if you have women there. They don't care what's going on. They don't care if you plan to help other persons. They care how it affects them politically. They don't care. But we will give you a failed. F. Some of this Raymond Road. We started with Raymond Road. We had a long diatribe about Raymond Road. I can't go back there. Just look, watch the beginning of the show and you will see it. All right. Anyone else y'all want me to cover? All right. The shuffle has been an absolute waste of time. On October 4th, they're going to come. They still got a whole month on vacation. They are not open until October 4th. They got a whole month. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a blood drive. We're going to have a blood drive in short order. We're going to give you all of the information. We're going to have a blood drive. People shouldn't be dying in the hospital for blood. So for all of our supporters, we need you to come out, give some blood. A certain amount of people are going to get phone cards, other stuff, other little prizes we're going to have out there. And so please come out. Let's put some blood in the hospital, man. I think once in the New Bahamas, we're going to do what they do in the blood banks in the States, etc. We're going to give you blood. We're going to pay you for your blood. Because you shouldn't let people pay for blood and then the hospital charge them for it. But you got that free. That's not right. All right? Someone says, talk about him. Talk about who? Sorry, I missed. Because sometimes your messages won't come exactly when you said it. So you'll have to say, talk about who you want me to talk about. The sort of message. All right? You would have seen the video that I've posted with the woman who was working on the cruise ship in Grand Bahama, and she was bragging about working on shore, working on land, and being with tourists. She has no work permit to work in this country. She has to stay on the ship. All right. If any of our mail boats go to Miami, you can't come off that boat and work on land. You can't. You stay on that ship. All right. You can't do your job on land. Somebody says Miles the Rotor. Okay. He's a candidate for Pinewood, so I was just going to leave that alone to not make it seem like I'm talking about him because of whatever. Miles Monroe has been a lousy minister of broadcasting. Broadcasting has not improved in this country under him, nor has BIS. It has not. For a long time, ZNS was biased. They've started to cover us now, and we appreciate that. But there's been no innovation. And that's what I'm judging you by. Innovation, not doing the same thing you've always done or just holding it together. At NIB has been failing and flunking. People were not getting their payments like they were supposed to. People were being told that they don't have enough payments here and there. And NIB, he was championing for NIB to be raised. On that alone, I give you an F. You are absolute failure. All right? You are a failure, Miles Aroda. To even consider raising NIB on the Bahamian people is evil. You are an evil, dark man. To even consider that. Because you know, and you never had the courage to stand up and say, NIB is in trouble because government has squandered the money. You're trying to make it seem like it's just running out of money and you just need to find more money by charging us more money. NIB is going to increase based on Miles' recommendations to up to almost a quarter of your salary. In short, and soon, 25% of what you make with NIB. That's their solution. While they were taking our money and spending it however they want, buying mansions, derelict mansions, and buying government buildings. Took our money and built a clinic on the family island. How we get money back from that? Took our money and built what they built? The National Security Building, the Attorney General's office. How we get that back? If you did not have the money to build that in the first place, how are we going to get it back? It is shameful what they've done with our NIB money. And you should have had the guts to stand up and tell the Bahamian people, not have Lincoln Bain do it. You should have read, you should have said, we made this year, and this would be spent out. This is where the money going. You should have been a man, Mazaroda, and told the Bahamian people the truth. Lincoln and Maria stood in front of those derelict mansions and read off from the documents what's going on. But y'all ignoring that. Because if we was lying, you would have locked us up. Schubert Ingram, Perry Christie, y'all practically stole our NIB money to do whatever y'all will. With Mazaroda, you failed. You started giving a bunch of people jobs, and I don't have a problem with people having jobs, but you didn't give them jobs because you love them. They are Lincoln Bain jobs because you give them because I'm a threat in Pinewood. So you start trying to hire a bunch of people and piling up a bunch of people at NIB. Now they've taken NIB and broadcasting from you and put you in the office of the Prime Minister. I guess they could throw something else on you later because it now look bad and the F&M is talking about it. And I am talking about it. They stripped you. Mazaroda, you are horrible. All right? More than another time. I want y'all to see this. I was talking with the cruise ship lady, but she's not the only one. On Princess Key, they're doing the same thing. On Princess Key, the ship workers are working on the key. Yeah, they are. They're on the key on land. And this is Crown land. On Princess Key, the ship workers are on land working. Let me show you more pictures. This ship worker. See that right there? That's a ship worker. He's on land. On Princess Key, working. In the Bahamas. This is a job a Bahamian should have. All he is a bartender. Look at that behind the counter. Bartenders. Bahamians can do that. They don't have any specialty. Look at these. More people in the kitchen area. Working. This jobs Bahamians can do. This is Princess Key, y'all. Look at this. On the beach, working with tourists. More of them. Y'all saw these ones already. See them here in the blue shirt? Let's see them working. Working. This is Princess Key. More of them. Team member. This is people off the ship, you know. Working on land. Selling what they selling? Liquor? Working on land. See, team member. It's Princess Key. See the bartenders behind the counter? Doing jobs Bahamians could do. Illegally. The Asians aren't the only illegal immigrants. Plenty more. All right. That's all I have time for today. We have to continue this fight. I wanted to talk about some other things, but I'll leave that right there. We still got plenty to talk about. Sunday, I'm going live again. Ladies and gentlemen, stay strong. The new Bahamas is happening, but it's only going to happen if you make this happen. We appreciate you. We did 2.5 hours today. We love you. We appreciate you. We didn't want to go this long today, but we had to try to go through a lot of these cabinet ministers. On Sunday, we're going to talk some more about our solutions and put this thing out there, to put this in the psyche of the Bahamian people. We're going to share this on WhatsApp in a minute. Please share this. It's a crime against humanity to have our children in these schools without air conditioning in the 21st century. Someone say, oh, it's going to be too expensive. That's like saying, oh, we shouldn't have lights because then you have to pay a lot of electricity. Just let them have the class and let it be open. Don't do walls, just let them be like in Africa. Don't do walls because blocks are expensive. No, if you're going to have a school, a part of the expense is to have air conditioning. Just like how you have light. Don't tell me you shouldn't have bathrooms because water is expensive. What kind of mentality is this? You wouldn't build an office. You wouldn't build an office and not have air conditioning in that. You wouldn't build an office building and not have air conditioning. It's absolute nonsense. All right. So, all right. Thank you. We're going live again on Sunday. Thank you, Grand Bahama, for your hospitality. We love you. And we got some stuff coming up. So y'all stay tuned. All right. The lies and slander will continue. Myself, Marie Doxson, and everyone else. The lies and slander will continue. Y'all stay focused. In the WhatsApp groups, their job is to distract you, arguing back and forth. No, let's talk about what's going on in the country. Talk about the corruption of the government, but also talk about the new Bahamas. Talk about the natural resources. They don't want you talking about that. Talk about our natural resources, our carbon credits. They're trying to steal it. $156 billion is going to be stolen, Bahamas. That's going to be stolen. Stolen while you get nothing. If we talk about nothing else, that alone should make you realize the PLP and FNM must go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We love you. We're going to leave you with a little something. We're going to leave you with a little something. You haven't heard this for a long time, but it's back. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, here we go.
And the Bahamians aren't prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming, change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go, shalom to all my Hebrew brothers. To all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know, I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause it's a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us. Kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet. So the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people wonder how Dubai became a very big, famous and rich city.
You see, if you're comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have, We have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country, not corruption. That's what brings your country at the top. You don't need anything. We want water, we don't have agriculture, we don't have mining.
That's quite interesting.
What happened in Dubai with the citizens?
Monarchy, and monarchy take care of their people and make sure that they're paid 2,000 per family, maybe 3,000. And life is cheaper there. Life is cheaper, but all the Dubai citizens are paid, very paid.
From who?
From the monarch, from the king.
From the king?
Yeah, from the king.
Wow.
Money comes in through the government. The government distributes the money to the people. And there are no poor people. They're like only
Dubai,
poor people in
you
Dubai
cannot be
are
poor.
those that came
No
from
poor
another
in
country.
Dubai.
No poor in Dubai.
Yeah.
This may be the best citizenship in the world, and they all have it. Because of this card, they get free land, free education, free weddings, free hospitals, and even a free funeral. It's the citizenship of a country in the Middle East called the United Arab Emirates. This is what life is like for citizens from the Emirate of Dubai. And because the city is so generous, they get the craziest benefits I have ever seen. Are you ready for this? When you are born, your parents pay nothing. Your delivery and checkups for the next 9 months are all free. Then you grow up and you go to school. Local school in Dubai is free! And so are universities, because Dubai will pay for you to get a degree.
I studied at Zayed University and New York University, both for free.
Who's gonna pay for that?
The government.
Then you get married. If you can't afford the wedding, you get $20,000 to throw a wedding. And after marriage, every local Dubai family gets this: free land. Did you get free land?
Yes.
Did you get free land?
Yes.
Did you get free land?
Sure, yes.
And if you cannot afford the home, then you get a grant to build it for free.
I also can't afford building a house. I can get a 0-interest loan on housing.
Zero?
Zero.
If you need to go to the hospitals are free. And if you need surgery that's not available here, they will fly you to another country to get treatment for free. When you become a senior citizen, you get discounts, many discounts. And if you live alone and can't afford it, Dubai will even send a caretaker to look after you for free. And when you die, well, in Dubai, that's also free. Your funeral will be taken care of, and Dubai will build a full tent with air conditioning within 5 hours of your death next to your home, so your friends can come and say goodbye to you. The point of government is to take care of people, and in Dubai, they take it to the extreme. Imagine if every city, every state, every government in the world did this. We would have a much happier world.
We're in government. We are the government of the day, and we will lead as we see fit. It is what it is.
That's let the world know. COI or nothing. I ain't got time for that.